Hello everyone. 8th March is the date that we all remember as International Women's Day. But what is the significance of the day that marks the initiation point of such a valid day? Why all over the world celebrate this day as International Women's Day? What are we exactly celebrating? So, the idea of Women's Day was put into action since the early 20th century, uh, particularly in USA. Right? 1908 was the year when in New York there was a huge demonstration for demands of female rights. Since the late 18th century, 19th century, we find that there were women who were fighting for their political rights, were fighting for the right for uh, political assertion, the voting right, and the demand for socio-economic equality. Right? But the movement that led to eventual International Women's Day happened in 1917. Very interestingly, this event happened on 23rd February. 23rd February, not according to the modern calendar, right? So basically, in Russia, 23rd February was the date uh, when women of Russia started protesting against the hike in the prices of goods, particularly that of food grains. They protested against the rising black marketing, the conditions of working classes, and demanded their right to be uh, understood and to be given to them. Right? This is a practice which is known as bread and peace, which means give us bread and we will not disrupt the workforce. Right? When their demands were not met, they went through a process of heavy strike. This was a process that eventually led to a long struggle, and it led to the abdication of the Tsar, the ruler of Russia, from Russia, from the region, and eventually led to the establishment of provincial government in the region, which is something called as February Revolution. To mark this particular date, that day, 23rd February, was celebrated as a day for women. Now, the thing is that 23rd February was according to the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was practiced and put into action before Gregorian calendar was universalized all over the world. The calendar that we follow is Gregorian calendar. But in Russia, Julian calendar was practiced. When the dates of Julian calendar was transferred to the Gregorian calendar, the 23rd February date became 8th March. So 8th March 1917 became the date when we all celebrate the International Women's Day. This day was accepted as International Women's Day in 1975 by United Nations. And eventually after 1977, it became a universal practice to celebrate International Women's Day. Many people also say that actually this should be International Working Women Day because it was a working class women who fought for their rights. Right? So when we celebrate women as mothers, sisters, we are actually not doing them great deal of benefit, but rather the day is to mark the struggle for women for their political and economic rights. Thank you very much.